Good day, and God bless. I'm Pastor Brian. I'm a Creator's kid, and you are too. Tonight, I've got on my Patriot hat again because, so much is happening right now, then we're truly at a pivotal point in the history of our country and our world. And I've been really busy trying to think of what I wanted to do for a segment here. But I heard something earlier today, and it was going through my mind all day, so I wanted to get home and put down some thoughts for you. There's a good piece of intel going around right now, and you may have seen it. It gives 7 points of info explaining that President Trump did not concede, and that Italy and Obama were involved in a coup attempt to overthrow our government through election fraud, and more. I won't read the whole thing right now because I want to focus on point number 3, which really contains the most monumental breaking news, you could say. Well, point 3 says that President Trump won't get a second term because this was the last recorded term of a president who served in the America Corporation, it says. It tells us that he dismantled the Banking Act of 1871 from England, that we're going back to a republic, and Trump will be the first president of the new republic with the Constitution fully intact, which includes a start date, it says, for the new presidency of March 4th, and that this was the original start date of a new presidential term back from 1776 until it was changed in 1933 under FDR. A lot of interesting stuff there. And I'd like to break that down and unpack that just a bit with a brief, real history lesson that was not included in your public school government training center textbooks, okay? Well, this is very good timing in a number of ways because in my previous video, I explained that I live in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. All capital letters, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which is a corrupt commercial foreign corporation and not the original Pennsylvania Commonwealth Republic. Okay? And all 50 states are in that same situation now. They are all operated as commercial corporations, not state republics. The same is true of the United States corporate democracy. It is not the original United States of America as established in the Declaration of Independence and as a republic in the Constitution for the United States of America. This country has been run by a corrupt commercial foreign corporation for the past 150 years. And the U.S. Constitution, which actually is titled the Constitution of the United States of America, is the 1871 corporate charter for the current, quote, democracy. So, our intel piece tells us that Donald J. Trump will not get a second term because it says this was the last recorded term of a president who served in that America Corporation, the United States Corporation. And that jibes with what I was saying, that the United States corporate democracy, a corporation, was not the original American Republic. It then tells us that President Trump dismantled the Banking Act of 1871 from England. If that is so, then it basically dissolved the United States corporation that was registered in the City of London. Now, Charlie Ward said this same thing in one of his recent broadcasts. And when he was questioned about it, he said, "Oh yeah, look it up in Companies House." Well, I did that, and he's right. Companies House is the UK government's register of companies worldwide. And the United States is, or was, a foreign corporation. Now, here's our true history lesson. And again, I'll keep it simple because this web of deceit goes on, and we could spend all night and next week talking about it. But how did it happen here in America? Well, the Banking Act of 1871 in England, as mentioned in the Intel, just happened to correspond with America's Act of 1871, also known as the District of Columbia Act. Now, that act did and caused many things, but basically, with no constitutional authority to do so, Congress created a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, which, as you know, is just a 10-mile square parcel of land that we call Washington, D.C. This new government would eventually, step by step, take over control of our country as the U.S. federal government, unlawfully running this country. Now, this act was passed in the aftermath of the war between the states, when our union of separate nation states found itself torn in two, and with barely the financial means to maintain itself as a republic. And this is where the Central Bank of England came in and got its foothold on us, we the American people. So there was a strategic move made by a foreign power, foreign international bankers, specifically Rothschilds of London and their cohorts, to lend money to our floundering nation, who desperately needed it, but they put in some serious stipulations. And this is where they got a stranglehold on the wealth, the real estate, and the people of America. So as I said, the Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States. This corporation was owned by foreign interests, and it moved in and shoved out the original Constitution into the trash. And what happened next almost defies logic, but it was a scheme of fraud and scams that hornswoggled the people so cleverly, so deceptively, that it makes one's head spin when you know the true facts. The Constitution of the United States of America, all capital letters, is the Constitution, the Charter of the Incorporated United States of America, or United States. Again, all capital letters. It operates in an economic, commercial capacity, maritime law, and it's been used to fool the people into thinking that it governs the republic. But it does not. It never has. The Constitution for the United States of America, for rather than of, and not in all capital letters, is the original republic. And it has been basically pushed aside for 150 years, and most people don't even know it. And that is why the federal government has become so monstrously out of control. we have become subject to the corporation, its chattel, its property. That's why they can do pretty much anything they want to do. And I also can't help pointing out an incredible piece of coincidence, you could say here. You know, many people are talking about extraterrestrials and time travel now in relation to all of this, and I don't really know about those things yet, but I will say this. There are those books by Ingersoll Lockwood about the travels and adventures of little Baron Trump. I think that's the title of the first book, The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump. And the second book is Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. The third book is titled The Last President. And these books were written over 120 years ago, during the 1890s. The main characters are a kid whose name was Baron Trump, and his master is Don. They also have a friend named Pence. And The Last President is about a man who resides on Fifth Avenue in New York City in a tower with his name, who surprisingly wins an election rigged against him. The last president. Now, if this intel that I was going through is true, that Donald Trump will be the last president for the U.S. corporation, it kind of does make one feel as though some history just might be repeating itself here, somehow. And there's so much more to say and study about all this, especially the U.S. history piece. And I'd really like to do some lessons and lectures about it, but right now, things are moving so quickly that we need to pick up pieces of truth here and there and then apply them to life as we can to complete the puzzle that we all find ourselves in now. You know, Jesus said, "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. Be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local councils and be flogged in the synagogues. On my account, you will be brought before governors and kings as witnesses to them and to the Gentiles. But when they arrest you, do not worry about what to say or how to say it. At that time, you will be given what to say. For it will not be you speaking, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you." Our Creator. Take that to heart, especially in this time of trial that God is turning into triumph. God wins, and so will we if we acknowledge His presence and trust in Him. James, the brother of Jesus, said, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up." So this is no small thing. God is lifting us up again. The Republic is being restored right now, and we get to be a part of God's great history for His people, which we all are. I'm a Creator's kid, and you are too. Be strong and courageous, my friends. God bless.